I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds, and it forced upon me, can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give an account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but an eternity is in it. Dr. Benjamin Mays, he had that quote, made that quote. He is an author, a scholar, a researcher, an activist, and I know him as a former president of Morehouse College in Atlanta, Georgia. Dr. Benjamin Mays, just a minute. As English said, my name is Joseph Wayne Daniels III. Trey, I'm also a third, so I understand being right behind a great person and having to hold up the legacy. I understand. I come from Silver Spring, Maryland. I've been here for the last 4.5 years pursuing a PhD in civil engineering. I am working on a research project looking at heated pavement technology using solar energy. So when you fly in the airports, especially Chicago, I guess you could say Springfield as well, when you have snow and ice on the tarmac, on the runway, on the apron area, those cause delays, those cause accidents. So what we're trying to do here is provide an approach that allows us to use solar energy so that we can make sure that our cost is going down so that your tax dollars don't have to go towards trying to keep you in the skies and keep you safe on the ground. Okay? But enough of that. Enough of that, because today is a great day, and today is about you all. Today is about us, and I think I'm good for this keynote specifically because I'm right here with you all. I just turned 27 Thursday, so I feel like I've been to school forever. I started out in school in 1995. Was everybody alive in 95? Everybody alive in 95? Who wasn't alive in 95? Right, so I've been to school as long as you've been alive. So I understand you want to get out, you want to do your thing, okay? So again, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds, and it forced upon me. Can't refuse it, didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to me to use it. I must suffer if I lose it, give an account if I abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but an eternity is in it. I remember I was in 10th grade at Springbrook High School in Silver Spring, Maryland, when a guy by the name of Willie Jolly, a motivational speaker, a best-selling author, a singer, he came to our high school to give a speech, and that's how he entered the speech, and that's how he ended his speech. And I said, time. I mean, like, why are we talking about time? I'm 15, 16 years old. If you all remember being that age about 3 years ago, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, right? You remember how slow time used to seem. You would never get out of high school. You would never get out of middle school. If you were like me, you would never be tall enough to date a girl because you were always too short, right? But after he came up with that, he came in as forcefully as I did, and he talked about time. And I said, why are we dealing with time so much? Why is your emphasis always on time? And it was at that point, at age 16, where I figured out and began to look at the value of time, right? We can see the value right now, right? Because we have school shootings, right? And all of a sudden, you go to school and that's it, right? You have people getting sick, you have people being deported, right? All these different types of things. And if we don't begin to value our time, then we begin to lose sight on what's really, really important. I didn't come here to make this political about any kind of societal thing. I just wanted to really put in the significant and the importance of valuing our time. Especially now, I feel as though time, I feel like this time for all of us, right? I'm 27. I feel like you are anywhere between 18 and 22 or above. And I really feel like right now, this time, we have the potential to do some awesome things, right? The potential to do some awesome things. I love civil engineering, but I also like history. I love the civil rights movement. I love looking at Reconstruction and all the way up. Like I'm a bug in there. I like to just kind of to get into a place and just soak it all up. And I think about it. It was people our age right now that led and figured out how to get people of color to vote. Right? Our age. It was people our age that fought for the ability for us to sit on buses, to be able to go down I-95, right? It was people our age who stepped out and did sit-in movements, right? Who sat at lunch counters and was thrown in jail just so that we all had the ability to go in to anywhere you want. Sit down, eat, go home, right? Our age, it was our age group, it was that era, that same era where Mr. Alley came to the University of Arkansas to pursue a degree that no one had ever done here before, right? I mean, think about it. Think about being in a lab class where you want to do surveying, basic surveying, and you can't even participate because your classmate won't give you notes that everyone's supposed to have, right? You can't participate because the instructor doesn't even really want you in the class but understands that it's above his pay grade. Where the dean tells you, hey, look, if you can't make it, then maybe you don't need to be here. And then he bursts this. But it was at this age, this right age. So I say potential because we do have the potential. But in order for the potential to be kinetic, it starts with an attitude. And we go back to time. Is your attitude wasting your time? Is your attitude wasting your time? Everybody take out a pencil and paper. Pencil and paper, come on. Pencil and paper, wake up. Pencil and paper. We talked about formula earlier, right? We talked about a formula. Formula for success. Well, I was in the shower one day, that's where I do all my great thinking, right behind my great singing, right? And I was in there and I'm like, you know, I really hate Arkansas. But I understand that in order for me to get through, this is back in 2014, by the way, I love it. But being able to figure out how do I make my name and how do I figure out what I'm supposed to do here, I got to figure out what needs to happen. So I talked to some people that said, Joe, you need to have a better attitude about where you are, right? You have to have a better attitude. I said, okay, I have a better attitude. So I'm sitting in the shower, and the hot water was like at its finest. And I was like, wow, okay, let's think about this thing. Attitude. So write this down. Everyone dissect it. Is your attitude wasting your time? Is your attitude wasting your time? Here we go. Attitude changes perspective. Okay? Perspective unveils understanding. Understanding develops awareness. Awareness yields priority. Priority orders time. Is your attitude wasting your time? Right? So we're all business and engineering, so we got to figure out, all right, teach, when you said the formula, now give me an example. Right? We all taking calculus or currently in calculus? Right? Hands, people, hands. Come on. Wake up. Right? Calculus, right? All right. Who is taking calculus 2? The worst one, right? Oh my goodness. So, we're in calculus 2. We know coming in, because you asked somebody, bro, how's that teacher? They good? No. Okay. Probably a hard grader. So you already go into class with this preconceived notion that, oh, this is going to be the roughest thing ever. So let's take it from the negative attitude, right? You go on with a negative attitude. Your perspective is what? Your point of view about calculus becomes what? Right. So now keep that point of view, right? And you now have unveiled a negative understanding about calculus. So now every day you come into calculus, you know that you hate the class, and you can never fully just understand basic concepts, right? Because your attitude was bad, which means that your point of view was already terrible, which means now you have no way of understanding the material concept, right? And then you're aware of the fact that you don't get it, and you probably won't get it because you keep telling yourself that you're aware that you suck at it, right? And then once you're aware of that, what are your priorities? Do you work 5 extra hours at night, during the day, going to tutoring, asking classmates, do that kind of stuff? No, probably not, right? Because your priorities are going to tell you, oh, well, I should probably do this. This is more important. I should probably do that. Oh, I'll get to college when I get to it. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. And then within that priority level, you find yourself having to take calculus 2 again. Is your attitude wasting your time? Does that make sense? Cool? So choose the right attitude. It's important to choose the right attitude. I remember I changed my attitude towards Arkansas in 2014. I hated driving up 540, which is now 49, and seeing a billboard that said Arkansas, getting up from Maryland. So the only thing I thought about Arkansas was Darren McFadden. That's all I knew. Right? And then when the football team fell off the map, I didn't know Arkansas for a while. Right? And then I came here, I'm like, wow, okay, cool. But I changed my attitude, and I began to appreciate the people here, appreciate the opportunities that were available to me, right? And I became aware of all the things that I could do, and I made it my priority to begin using my opportunity here to make a difference for my community and for myself. So, it's our time to make our mark, right? It's our time for the students here, for the students at other universities in Arkansas, Missouri, Texas. It's our time to leave our legacy. And the only way that you can do that is being the best version of you. Being the best version of you. As all great pastors have, we have, 3 points. I'm not a pastor, but, if y'all go to church, I know 3 points, I'm out, right? So I just finished point number 1. So point number 2, be you. Be you. Be you. Beyonce puts it like this. Your self-worth is determined by you. You don't have to depend on someone telling you who you are. Man, Beyonce, she was sharp. Someone else, I don't know who this was, but someone else put it like this. Be yourself because an original is worth far more than a copy. Steve Jobs puts it like this. He says, your time is limited. Let's talk about time. Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Right? Be you. That's all. You just gotta be you. But I'll tell you one thing. There's a person, I think you all know Dr. Seuss. Like, you all aren't too old or too young for Dr. Seuss, right? Dr. Seuss, everybody know Dr. Seuss? Come on, Dr. Seuss? Yeah, Dr. Seuss. So he puts it like this. Today you are you. That's truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. I mean, if you put that on any trap beat, that's what it is. Right? I'm telling you, look, today you are you. That's truer than true.
Facts.
There is no one alive that is youer than you. So you gotta be you. And I say be you because, I actually have some stories about this, but I have a father who preached this, and he is a pastor, but he preached this my entire life, right? My father, my Black Panther, Wakanda, forever. He puts it like this. He says, be you and know that your gifts will make room for you. Your gifts will make room for you. I remember 2013, I came here from North Carolina Agricultural and Technical State University in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I came into a situation where I didn't know, right? I went to an all-black college, and then all of a sudden, in a matter of months, I'm at an all-white college, it felt like, right? And not only that, social media is addicting, and it is false advertising. But I was able to see friends graduate, buy new cars, buy houses, do cool stuff, be in Dubai, and I'm sitting here in an office with no windows, working on grading status problems. And I'm sitting here like, how come I can't have that kind of stuff? My friend's in grad school, he gets this scholarship. I did way better than him in undergrad. I did way better than her in undergrad. Why am I not receiving all of these blessings? And I realized that it came to a point, that I had to begin putting on my blinders. Because if I allow other people to get into my way, I then began to see that the blessings that God has for me I wouldn't be able to bestow upon the world because I focus too much on what other people were doing. So I really, really want you all to know that you really need to be yourself. And I also say that because I'm in a room full of what everyone else calls minority. And I understand what it feels like to be the only black person in a classroom, right? I'm sure you all have had that experience where you're the only in a group. And the easiest thing to do is to assimilate. The easiest thing to do would be to talk the way that everybody's talking. The easiest thing to do is to not put on your traditional garb, because it's not what everybody else wants you to do. The easiest thing to do if you have locks is not wear them, because now the government says that it's illegal to not give you a job if you have them, right? That's the easy thing to do, to assimilate. And I have gotten caught up in assimilation, and it sucks. But you have to be you. And if you are you, then the gifts that you have, the gifts that you've been given, the purpose in which you've been put on this earth to do, it will be shown and seen and given out. If we aren't ourselves, we don't get to the opportunity to bless everyone, right? So just be you. Just be you. All right. Point number 3. And I'm almost done, y'all. Right? I'm almost done. In being the best version of you, I want you to put up or shut up. Put up or shut up. That's where we at. All right? There's 3 types of people that are beginning to really irritate me. 3 types of people. I'm going to name them. Well, I'm going to name the type of people. First one is the person who says, oh, you know what? Got this bomb idea. I'm going to do this and do that. It's about to be love. I'm telling you. Right? 1 month later, no action. 2 months later. 6 months later. A year later, the same person. Bruh, I got this idea. I'm telling you, it's going to rock the world. Well, you have a plan? I'm working on it. You have an elevator pitch? I'm trying to get it together. And irritate me. I can't stand it. Just leave it alone. Just don't tell me nothing. Right? That's person number 1. Person number 2. They complain about everything. Everything is a complaint. Right? Everything is a complaint. But they haven't done all the things that they can do that's in their control. Right? Oh, bruh. My teacher, man, look. Calculus is hard, bro. I'm telling you. But it's the teacher, bro. I don't know what to tell you. Like, everybody in the class, the average grade was like a 32. And I got like a 33, so, you curve it, I still did all right. But it ain't my fault, no, it ain't my fault, you know what I'm saying? Like, I understand I was with Dixon or whatever, but hey, it ain't my fault. It's like, hey, that person irritates me. And the third person that irritates me is people who don't take advantage of their current opportunity. Mostly because it's not the opportunity that they currently want. Right? I'm person number 2 and person number 3. So I hate myself a lot. I'm always irritated with myself. I'm sitting here like, oh, what are you doing, bro? Come on, get it together. Right? I remember back when I first got here, and I was here for a while, I had applied for 14 different fellowship grants or scholarships. Didn't get any. National Science Foundation, Department of Defense, you name it. If it was a scholarship that had any money on it, I applied for it. I didn't get it. And I'm sitting here like, dang. The world hates me. What am I doing wrong? Like everybody else is on something. Because it can't be me. I graduated with a 396 in civil engineering. I did this. I was the president of NSB this. I'm supposed to get everything. I'm supposed to be handed stuff. Why am I not getting it? That's person number 2. Person number 3. It's all me. I TA'd when I got here because I didn't take the transition to graduate school seriously. Right? I thought I was too big for everybody. Right? I got to the point where they would call me down, say, Joe, can you come to the office and you sign the papers? Cool. hey, Siemens has given the university $3,000 and they want to give it to somebody. Your name came up, so sign your paper here, $3,000. 21 years old. Cool. So I'm like, Trey, listen to grad school. Any grad school in the world will be happy to have Joe Daniels. I don't even do nothing. I got high GPA, my GRE is enough, and we good to go. So now I'm coming to the University of Arkansas, very humble, and having to be a teacher's assistant in order to even have a stipend to be able to do what I got to do here, right? I hated teaching. I didn't like it. I like being in front of the classroom. That was cool. I like doing this, right? I didn't like grading. I didn't like office hours. People will come to office hours, yo, you gave me a 6, I should have got a 7. And I hated it, but the attitude shift, the fact that I knew who I was and who I should be and who I could be and whose I am, I realized that it was time for me to put up or shut up. No more complaining, no more not taking advantage of opportunities. I'm sure you all are in opportunities now that you don't want. But if you give it your 110%, I guarantee you, it will allow you to do something 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now that you can never imagine, right? I didn't like TA, but I embraced it. I embraced it, so then I used all of my teaching opportunities to figure out, okay, what part of mine, and I stuttered by the way, what part of me needs, how do I need to speak publicly so that I get over my fear of stuttering? What part of me can use the TA opportunity to be able to mentor, to be able to inspire and teach, right? But to be able to do all those different types of things. So yes, I'm not doing what I want to do all the time. But if you don't take advantage of those opportunities, you begin to lose out on what it is that you can be doing for your future. So put up or shut up. We don't want to hear it. We don't want to hear it because you all are gifted. You all are talented. Now get to work. Cool? So I'm wrapping this thing up. I'm wrapping this thing up. Put up or shut up. Okay? We figured out that the time is now. Choose your right attitude. Okay? We figured out that you have a gift and it's important to just be you. And it's time to either put up or shut up. Again, I'm from Maryland. Anybody know the DMV area? Anybody been to DC, Maryland, Virginia before? Anybody? Cool. Does anybody know the musical genre called go-go? You know go-go? Anybody heard of go-go before? Anybody heard of a band called Mambo Sauce? Mambo Sauce? SK Shaw? All right, so look, there's a group called Mambo Sauce, and this is really a sauce in DMV that we eat with fried chicken. It's really good. If you ever go try it out. Besides the point. There's a group called Mambo Sauce, and they had this song called Miracle, right? And I love it because this is how the third verse goes. Truth is, proof is in the pudding. But truth is, you get back what you put in. So I put in all of me. The difference between win and defeat is an apostrophe T. Either you can or you can't. You do or you don't. Either you are or you ain't. You will or you won't. Well, me, if I conceive it, then I can achieve it. And if I dream and believe it, then I can be it. So I want y'all to just soak that in. Third verse, Mambo Sauce, song called Miracle. Truth is, proof is in the pudding. The truth is you get back what you put in. Put up or shut up. We have only just a minute. Only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon us, can't refuse it. We didn't seek it, we didn't choose it. But it's up to us to use it. We must suffer if we lose it. Give an account if we abuse it. Just a tiny little minute. But an eternity is in it. Thank you.